Do you want to do some psychic spying? Do you? Come hither. Right, so I'm going to do a psychic spying reading. If you're new here, I'm Richard, aka the Urban Warlock of Urban Warlock Healing, and I do my readings a little bit differently to the Fluff Brigade. Right, so what's a psychic spying reading? Well, number one, you have to be somehow involved in the situation. It has to have an effect on you, because we're going to be going, what's going off in the background? How's it going to pan out? Okay, so we're not just randomly spying on people for no apparent reason. If you want one of these, the standard version is 8 cards per spread. What's going off in the background? How it's going to play out? What's the intention? What's going to play out? You just drop down to the video description. You can find the Beacons AI link in there, and you can get yours same day guaranteed recorded. Right, so this one's going to be a bit longer for the YouTube collective. So spread one, as always, is going to be what's going off in the background. Okay, then we'll move on to the divination row and see how it's going to pan out. You have to bear with me with these, because it can sometimes be like, this is what they're intending, or this is what's happening. So I normally need a few more of the cards out before I pin my hat to things. So let's split them and have a look. Right, Knight of Pentacles, King of Swords in the reverse, Chariot card, Page of Wands in the reverse, Seven of Swords in the reverse. Right, so interesting. So start off with the Knight of Pentacles. So Pentacles relates to the element of Earth, can mean money and finance, can mean non-financial wealth. That's what we're investing our time, efforts and energies in. Court cards can be energy within ourselves, can be the energy of somebody else around us. Knights don't have the knowledge or experience of the kings and the queens, more so than the pages, but they're more about forward motion. Now, I think this is you, the collective. I think some of this might have already happened, to be honest with you. And I feel like this has been you kind of slowly moving forwards, putting the effort in, doggy in the background, which is on the move, moving forwards. Now, the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight in the deck, so there's no rush to it. Like I say, I think that you've been kind of slowly moving forwards. Now, because of that, we then got the King of Swords in the reverse. Swords are where we think words we use. King's masculine energy, Queen's feminine energy. Remember, in tarot we talk about energy, not gender. So it can be a man, woman, somebody non-binary. Now, just to remind you as well, you see, if you stop and listen to me, you can actually learn tarot. You know, divination tarot at least. Masculine energy is more driven, doers, leaders. Feminine energy is more nurturers, supportive, intuitive. And we've all got a balance within us. Now, I kind of dip into the old Hinduism, and it's about the duality concept, balancing your masculine and your feminine within you first. Your divine counterpart, if we were going down the love route, needs to have that as well, and then you become the ultimate force. Right, the King of Swords, anyway, in the upright position is how I describe my reading style. Blunt, direct, to the point, here to tell you what you need to, not what you want here. In the reverse position, it tends to be kind of paranoid, angry, narcissistic tendencies. I think that's somebody else. I think this is the person we're kind of having a look into, see what they're up to. We then got the Chariot card. So the Chariot card for me talks about the energy around us, or questions of should I do it, is the time right. Now, if it's energetic, I describe the Chariot as a little bit of a juggernaut. So it can take a bit of time to get the wheels in motion, but once it picks up speed, it's going to plough through everything like a freight train. If it's questions of should I do it, is the time right, it's going, yeah, go for it. Now, hold fire on that one. Page of Wands in the reverse. Wands fire action. Page is more youthful energy. Don't have the knowledge or experience of the kings and the queens. Don't have the full motion of the knights. More about giving something a go. Now, this page, if it's you, is generally about getting out there, dipping your toe in the water, trying new things. If it's somebody else, then it's somebody who acts like a child. Chucks their toys out the pram when they don't get what they want. Don't really show up. Talks a good game. Haven't got a lot behind them. Reverse position, if it's you, not doing that, not getting out there. Or if it's this other person, they're either not showing up, or I think they might be backing off slightly, I don't know. Right, Seven of Swords in the reverse. So, standard tarot book version of this card talks about sneaky, deceptive behaviour. He's stealing the swords, he's running off, he's looking behind him, worried about getting caught out. The other way I can go is imposter syndrome. I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I can't do it. Imposter syndrome reverse, maybe I can, maybe I should, maybe I will. Sneaky, deceptive behaviour in the reverse, coming to light. Hold fire. I'm more drawn to say sneaky, deceptive behaviour coming to light, to be honest with you. Page of Cups in the reverse. Seven of Cups. Hierophant. Two of Pentacles in the reverse. Right, so yeah, it feels very much like it's kind of jumping between them and then you and then them and then you. But I'm gonna carry on, and then I should be able to kind of tie this all together. Page of Cups in the reverse. So pages are more youthful energy, don't have the knowledge or experience of the kings and the queens or the formation of the knights, as I say. This page is about an offer. He's offering the cup. Pages offers are tiny, thimblefuls, dog dirt. It's in the reverse position, so this is about a tiny offer not coming forward, or somebody not putting in, can't talk today, the slightest amount of effort. Seven of Cups. So I'm going to say this is you. You're the shadowy figure there, big cloud out the cloud, 7 cups. Out of every cup there's something different. It talks about an abundance of opportunities on an emotional level. It can talk about your manifestations and your wish fulfillments. Hierophant. So the Hierophant's one of the Divine Masculines. Is Divine Masculine on a more spiritual based level. He does relate to my star sign of Taurus, sticking some kind of tradition, or going on a journey of self-discovery. Who am I? What am I? What's my purpose? What's my role? Learning more, developing more, honing your skills. Two of Pentacles in the reverse. So one of 3 ways we can go with this. Have we had any Pentacles? Yeah, we have, yeah. So way 1 is things being chaotic. He's juggling the 2 Pentacles. You've got the sea in the background with the boat bopping up and down. Way 2 is about having choices. Way 3 is about infinity loop karmic cycle. So reverse position, chaos. Some of those spinning plates are going to start falling. Making a choice or starting to break a karmic cycle. Let's continue. Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. King of Wands in the reverse. Oops. Let's just shuffle again. I don't like it when it does that. In the meantime, let's just shove those up a little bit more. I don't like it when it gives me 2. Just whilst I'm redoing this, if you are new here, please give my channel a subscribe. Drop in your comments as we go through, and don't forget to like it as well, please, people. And if you can, if you like these, head across to the playlist this is on. The YouTube collective playlist. There's lots of different ones on here. If you're just wanting the Psychic Spine ones, they are in the Psychic Spine playlist. Please watch as much of my content as possible, because I am trying to get to the magic 4,000 before they up that to 8,000 in February. So, you know, do us a favour, please. ASMR. Right, yeah, I do that a lot. It's my new thing. Right, Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. So the Wheel of Fortune for me talks about either the energy around us, or the way we're thinking about things. Now, if it's energetic, upright position, it's like a conveyor belt of goodies going past, a bit like on the Generation game, if you're old enough to remember that. Just taking what you want. Reverse position, you're on gladiators facing the travelator, you can't get up the damn thing. If it's the way you're thinking about things, or the way they're thinking about things, then upright position is having a steely positive mental attitude. Now that's completely different from toxic positivity, because toxic positivity tells you just have happy thoughts and everything will be happy. It doesn't work like that. Reverse position, it's about going into a bit of a negative spiral. You know, nothing ever works out for me. I'm a realist, not pessimist. That's what my attitude used to be like, believe it or not. King of Wands in the reverse. So King of Wands in the upright position is in his masculine power. Good ruler, good leader, not afraid of fight, not afraid of change. My mouth's gone so dry doing this. It's unbelievable. Reverse position, toxic masculine energy. So energy, because it can be a man, woman, somebody non-binary, an environment or a collective. Toxic masculine energy can range from someone or something that doesn't want to change up to the nasty stuff. Anger, aggression, oppression, suppression, abuse, lust, power, greed. Excuse me. ASMR. Can't help it. I'm going to say I'm a bit of a dick. Right, Lovers in the reverse. So the Lovers card, I'm not going for love here. I'm going for the Fire Winged Angel. Fire, passion, excitement. Starting to lose that. So what this feels like is, up until that last row, it feels like it's kind of, this is you, this is them. So I think that you've been slowly pushing forwards and starting to hit some kind of stride or success, and this person has been triggered. They're starting to get to narcissistic tendencies. I think that they're saying nasty things, probably quite openly to other people, but behind your back, if that makes sense. So they're not coming up to you and saying any nasty things. I think that they're saying nasty things to other people. They're not the kind of person who would kind of broadcast it. They're more, you know. I'm struggling a little bit because normally that would be more Queen of Swords energy, kind of like sending out the little birds and stuff like that. They're going to be more overt about it. So whereas the Queen of Swords in the reverse would like drop little kind of nuggets for people to then kind of go chasing and kind of go, oh, have you heard? The King of Swords is going to be quite overtly negative and nasty about you to people that they think they can trust. Okay. Meanwhile, you're pressing forwards. Okay, so like I say, I think the Knight of Pentacles might have already happened. So I think you're probably roundabout in the Chariot at the moment, like, whoosh, let's go forwards. This person, I think they think they're all that and a bag of chips, but the reality is that they're just acting like a child. And I think that this could have something to do with jealousy of success. So if you're a hard worker and you're starting to hit that glow up era, starting to hit that abundant era, this person is just slack-arse lazy. Seven of Swords in the reverse. I think because they've been going around slagging you off, that, you know, sneaky deceptive behaviour is starting to come to light around people that they're around and that they know, and they probably know you as well. And again, with the Page of Cups, I feel like that's them not giving themselves even the slightest bit of chance to make them happy, because they've slipped into this toxicity. You know, if this had something to do with work, so for example, if this had something to do with me, this would be somebody who don't like me, you know what I mean? And the reality is that they've become so focused on Truman showing my success and my work that they've completely gone off the rails with what they're supposed to be doing. You know, the chances are, if it is somebody that doesn't like me, you know, the reality is they need to kind of give up what they're doing, clear off back into the matrix, fill themselves with light and love, and, you know, stick a rainbow shitting unicorn up their arse and take their karma and go back to the matrix. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, Seven of Cups, you're hitting your abundance. Okay. Meanwhile, the other side of the fence, they're stuck in some kind of tradition, right? You're breaking this karmic cycle. Now, this is where it gets interesting. They're slipping into a negative mindset and slipping further into toxic masculinity. And as I just said a moment ago, because they're so focused on hating the fact that you're glowing up, they're losing passion for other areas of their life. Let's continue. Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. Six of Swords in the reverse. Right, so Queen's feminine energy. I'm going to say this is you. Now, the Queen of Pentacles in the upright position is kind, caring, loving, devoted. She's cradling the pentacle like a baby there. Now, that can be a good thing, but in this case, it would be a bad thing. I think that in the past, you've had a tendency to be a bit of a people pleaser, maybe over-nurtured other people when they didn't deserve to be nurtured. And this is about you completely pulling that energy back, because I don't think this person's in your life anymore. But I think that they still try and feed off your energy in a kind of siphoning type way. Six of Swords in the reverse. Swords are where we think words we use. It's about going on to calmer waters, going in a new direction. Now, in the upright position, there is some sorrow attached to it. In the reverse position, it's sod that, sod you, sod them, I'm off, I'm out of here, I'm done. So I think that's you kind of disconnecting from any emotion attached that you might have previously had with this person. Overall outcome card. Four of Swords in the reverse. Okay, so I'm going to say this is this person. Okay, I'm going to keep it simple. Upright position, being too mentally horizontal. Reverse position, taking that mental action to make a change. No, I'm not going to go that way. Sorry. No. Scrap that. Going standard way. I'm feeling really woozy doing this. It's a very odd energy. It could be tying into that kind of somebody feeding off your energy type thing. I call my power back from every person, place and time. As above, so below. As within, so without. Haram Shanti, Abracadabra, so motivated, and I know it. Okay, so let's pull that energy back. No, sorry, apologies. I'm going to go standard tarot book version of this. Upright position, periods of rest. Reverse position, avoiding the issue at hand. Okay, obstacles or blockages. This is advice for you, not them. Knight of Cups in the reverse. Okay, so Knight's forward motion again. Cups, water, emotions. This is about an offer. I feel like this is what this is saying is there is a good chance that this person might try and come in with some kind of offer. Don't accept it. Do not accept it. Okay, removing any blockages. Five of Wands in the reverse. This is the fight or fallout card. Basically, you need to know this fight is over. Yeah, I think this has something to do with somebody that you've had issues with. They're kind of spiraling into toxic masculinity because you've done everything that's been asked of you and you're hitting that abundant era. They're going to know because they're going to be monitoring you. So, again, in my case, it'll be like they'll be watching, they'll be keeping an eye on the follower count and stuff like that. The irony of it is because they're avoiding the issue, which is just basically that they, like I say, they need to give up on what they're doing. So again, in my case, this person's going to be a quote unquote spiritual practitioner, but the fact that they've slipped into toxic masculine energy, they shouldn't be working with anybody because they're just thinking about themselves. What they should be doing is actually kind of reassessing the situation and going, do you know what? I ought to kind of give up what I'm doing and I need to focus on finding some happiness back in the matrix. Will there be karma? Yes, there will. So case in point, if they are a spiritual practitioner, what they really need to do is if they've got any other discernible skills, I don't know, hairdresser, something along those lines, then go back and do that. There's no shame in doing that. The spiritual life, especially where we're at the moment, is brutal. I'm sick of people, people have poo-pooed me all these years when I talk about spiritual war, where we're in it. You know what I mean? We're in it, and it's people like me at the forefront who are talking about the gritty stuff, who are leading the way. All this love and light BS, they're all disappearing. People don't want it anymore. Of course you're going to have Doris and Mavis who come along to these events or book you for a reading because they want something nice and fluffy. They want light and love. But anything outside of that, no, people are sick of it. They're turned off by it, Right, let's go on to the divination row. So let's see how this is going to pan out. Because obviously it's not looking overly good for this spiritual Karen type in the background, is it? Because I think that's what we're dealing with here. I think we're dealing with a bit of a spiritual Karen type person who, who just cannot handle the fact that after all this, or after all the hard work and effort you, the collective, have put in, they're falling apart and you're rising. This is going to be somebody who's bad-mouthed you. So in my case, he's too dark. He shouldn't be on these events. People don't want his nonsense. Blah 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 blah. And the reality is that just comes from somebody who's bitter and jealous and egotistical, who cannot see beyond the parameters of what they believe. Like I say, do I slag off the Love and Light Brigade a lot? Yeah, of course I do. Why? Because they've come after me. Nothing more, nothing less. If they'd left me the F alone, I wouldn't be bashing them so much. Right, so we've got the High Priestess come out. Dibby 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 dee. ASMR. Yeah, I'm going to stop doing it. I'm sorry, that must be really irritating. I am very irritating. Seven of Pentacles in the reverse. I don't know how Lucy puts up with me. I really don't. Ten of Cups, Four of Cups in the reverse. Page of Swords in the reverse. Right, so High Priestess. So the High Priestess is one of the Divine Feminine. She's Divine Feminine on a more spiritual base level. She's what I preach, duality, black and white pillar either side of her, connection with spirit and intuition. I think you, the collective, you're getting leveled up with your psychic abilities, with your intuition. And again, this is reference that you probably in that duality mindset. Meanwhile, on the other side of the fence, Seven of Pentacles in the reverse. So they're the chap in the garden looking over the fruits or flowers. Not ready for harvest yet, needs to get to 10. Upright position's going in the right direction. Reverse position, things are going off course for them. I call this the stick or twist. Do they stick and hope it turns around? Well, I don't think there's any chance of that, to be quite honest with you, because as I've already said, they should be quitting and going back into the matrix. So they're being asked to twist, but the chances are they won't do it because A, they've slipped into toxic masculinity, and B, logic dictates with that card, they're going to stick because 7 is close to 10, they're starting aces. 10 of Cups, Cups, Water, Emotions. I call this Happy Families card. Couple arm in arm, kiddies dancing in a rainbow. It talks about wish fulfillment on an emotional level. So again, this is you. So within the next couple of months, you're hitting another milestone of some sort. Meanwhile, Four of Cups in the reverse. They're the person under the tree staring at the 3 cups. Stuck, bored, jaded, fed up, cloud hang cup, no opportunities. Upright position, missing out on that. Reverse position, still in that stagnant energy. Now, I think that cloud hang cup combination is an opportunity to go, right, come over here, go back to normal life, try and find some semblance of peace and stop playing spiritual guru, okay? But they're not going to do that. Page of Swords in the reverse. So the Page of Swords in the reverse is about sticking to the tried, tested and true. So this person, and again it's a page, so it's a naive, immature attitude. Here's an offer. Come and do this job. That isn't doesn't mean that you're manipulating and abusing people, all the while thinking that you're some saviour. Oh no, I'm sticking to what I know, thank you very much. I don't want to go and do that. I want to do what I want to do. Yes, but you're shit at what you do. I don't care. But you're saying that you want to help people. I'm telling you you're shit at it. Yeah, but I don't care. Attitude. Right. Charity in the reverse. Wheel of Fortune. King of Wands. Four of Wands. Right, so Chariot in the reverse. So for this person, because they've not changed this attitude, because they're sticking to the tried, tested and true, things are going to stagnate. The brakes are on and welded on. Meanwhile, Wheel of Fortune, there's some more good stuff coming your way. Okay, King of Wands in the upright position. I'm going to say this is you. It's about stepping up into your masculine power. Okay, taking control of the situation, taking control of your career, your life, whatever the situation is, because you've had really good things coming, and you've got loads of really good things coming. Four of Wands. Call this the 1111 card. Make a wish. It's quite a complex card. This it can talk about engagement, marriage, happy home, happy community, celebration, tangible goals and dreams you can work your way towards. So I think it's more kind of a celebratory energy, if I'm honest with you. Temperance card, Queen of Swords, Knight of Swords. So Temperance card. So the Temperance card for me is the alignment card. It's when our mind, body, soul's all in alignment. We know who we are, what we want, where we're going. You'll also notice the angels pouring into your own cup. Periods of self-love, self-care, self-healing. I feel it's going to get you further into alignment of who you are and what you're supposed to be doing, and it's going to give you an opportunity also to start focusing on yourself. Queen of Swords. Swords are where we think words we use. Queen's feminine energy. Okay, so I think this is somebody else. Okay, so I mean it could be you, it could be the masculine and feminine energies within you, but I think with the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Swords and the King of Wands there, yeah. I think that's some kind of match. So it could be you and your partner leveling up. It could be somebody new coming in if you're looking for love. It could be a business partner, etc., etc. Or it could, like I say, it could just be you. It could be kind of vocalising yourself a little bit more on social media or some kind of platform. Knight of Swords, Knight's forward motion. This knight talks about either expressing ourselves or news coming in fast. I think it's news coming in fast because it's going towards the Queen of Swords. Strength. Star card in the reverse. Okay, so I feel like this is going to be news coming in about this person. Strength card. I'm not going for strength. I'm going to go for pride. Okay, their pride's kicked in about something, and that's meant that they're not getting their star card. Okay. Overall outcome card. Knight of Cups, and this is where they're coming in. This is where they're coming in. Okay, I don't think the Knight of Swords is them. I think that it's coming from somebody else. Have you heard? Spiritual Karen has hit the wall. She's lost everything. She's gone gaga, whatever the situation is. Her pride kicked in, and it meant that star card was no longer possible. Oh, hello, I'm back from dead. Can you help me, please? And that is what you're going to need to reject. Okay, obstacles or blockages. Two of Pentacles. Yeah, this will pull you back in some kind of karmic situation, removing any blockages. Queen of Pentacles. Nurture yourself. Okay, don't nurture this other person, nurture yourself. So yeah, things are looking great for you. This person is slowly going to kind of spiral because of their ego, and they're going to lose out on some kind of star card because their pride kicks in. They are going to come back in. Okay, I think it's going to be some kind of apology. It's going to be a knight's apology. Okay, I don't think you ever even got a page's apology off this person. But as I always say, you know, if you're used to receiving Knight's offers, page's offers, and then Knight's offer comes in, it can seem really genuine and good, because it's about 3 to 4 times better than a page's offer. It's still not a good enough offer. And even if this person came in with a king or queen's offer, I would say still reject it. This person has slipped into toxicity. This person is jealous of you and your success. This person cannot handle the fact that you're getting all your abundance and they're being left in the dirt. Like I say, what they're supposed to be doing is not coming to you looking for some forgiveness so that they can try and ease some of that karma and continue doing what they're doing. They're supposed to be going back to the matrix, facing their karma, and then finding some kind of peace moving forwards. That's on them. That's not on you. Because if you step in any way, you're going to pick up some of their karma, and it's not yours to pick up. So there you go. If you want a personalised one, like I said, they are shorter than that. Psychic spine reading, 25 quid. Any area you want to focus on, like I say, you do have to be involved in it some way or how. Yeah, drop down to the video description, Beacon's AI link, and I will say, sorry, Spiritual Karen, your time's up. Ta-ta.